What's going on, everybody? Seems like every time I want to ride right now, it's either I'm at work or it's storming, so we're going to catch a little bit of a break in the storms here. We've been getting hit with thunderstorms a lot. But we are trying out a new cam setup. So hopefully you'll have my drift cam and my GoPro on the handlebars. So I'll be able to bounce between both of them. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. But I also tried to do some mic mods on the helmet so that I could try to cut down on the wind buffeting. I swear that is like the bane of my existence, is wind buffeting on these moto vlogs. You know, I was kind of getting it sorted on the old channel, and then I had to redo all of my setup because, well, deer hit. Oh, great. Freshly pea graveled. My favorite thing ever. Well, so much for one of my favorite little jaunts. I have to take it really easy on this road. What is Wisconsin's obsession with chip seal? I don't get it. So anyway, a few updates. Scarlett is all back together 100%. The last two pieces came in. She's good to go. I mean, I was riding her before, but we had some cracked plastic on her still. But she is all pretty again. I'll try to get some cool shots for Instagram later. But yeah, it's I also did a throttle body sync while I was at it, and she only got like 5,500 miles on her. And let me tell you, she was, whoa man, she was off. This is always a fun corner. We're gonna get this way and try to get off of some of that pea gravel. This isn't the greatest road ever either, but it's better than that fresh chip seal. Ooh, bunny! But yeah, pretty much off from the factory. Cranes! Oh, they repaved this road. Cool. I don't know, she still doesn't feel quite right. I'm not sure. It's a little bit lurchy on the bottom end. That may be my tune, because I did retune the bike, and I'm still working on it. I've got some great power in the mid-range, but I have noticed a little bit of chugginess on the bottom end, so maybe I need to readdress the fuel tables or something. Yeah, as you can tell, I really don't know this road that well either. But we're just on a leisurely cruise anyway. I just wanted to try out the new camera setup and see how it's going with the GoPro on the handlebars and all that fun stuff. But still healing up nicely. Still don't have anywhere near the stamina that I'm used to. You know, being an endurance rider and having 100-mile, 150-mile ride kick you right in the bottom end, and especially on a bike like this that's meant to just eat miles. It's not fun. But I'm sure as things return to normal with blood counts and things like that, we will be back to doing what we do best. Going places and seeing things. So, till then, you guys are probably going to see a whole lot of my local area. That said, I live in a pretty area, so it's not so bad. But work's going decent. I've basically transitioned full-time to dispatch at this point, and it doesn't sound like I'm going back in a truck, which is a huge weight off my shoulders. I'll do it if I have to. Like if I'm forced to go back into my route, whatever. I won't stay there though. I'm done with truck driving. I've done it for many years, and I do LTL. Ooh, bunny! And I have a lot of other experience and expertise that I could use. I want to get back into power sports. That's where my heart lies, obviously. And I've really grown to love doing this motorcycle safety stuff. And one of the side effects of hitting the deer on the bike is I got put into contact with some people at the company that insures my bike, which is Dairyland Cycle out of, well, they're part of Century Insurance out of Stevens Point, which is a local, I mean, I live in Stevens Point, so. And my claims appraiser was actually pretty impressed with some knowledge I had. You know, I used to rebuild crash sport bikes and all kinds of crazy stuff, so I've got a pretty solid background in tracking down parts, rebuilding and reconstructing from pictures, things like that, because when you buy a crash sport bike, you kind of get to look at the pictures first, and then you reconstruct what you can from that. And that gives you a good baseline for what it's going to cost to actually rebuild the bike versus the cost of purchasing the bike. So it helps keep yourself out of financial stress when you're playing around with stuff like that. And I can find some parts for some pretty weird bikes, and I'm really good at deconstructing and reconstructing from those pictures. So, and I've also got a customer service background, and I've got a tech background, and I do have college education. So I got in contact through him with some people from the HR team, and there's some certifications I need, which I'm working on now. So there's also a lot of opportunity at that company, and I'm really hoping I can get in with them, because it would be, it's right up my alley. It puts me right in the center of the power sports industry. It puts me right in the center of the motorcycle safety stuff. Even with me doing the rider coaching and whatnot, it kind of all ties together. So I'm thinking that would be my perfect avenue. Alright, let's see how bad County Road D is. But that's the plan. I mean, if I wind up full-time in dispatch, I'll stick around for quite a while, I'm sure. I actually really like the company I work for 90% of the time. But who likes their company 100% of the time? I've got a great team of people at my terminal. Most of our corporate management is, well, I should say the ownership at least, are decent people. They're really good people. You know, there's a few people in the company I could do without, but there always is. Unfortunately, one of them has a huge impact on where I can go in this company, and yeah, long story short, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, so we'll see where it goes, but I'm getting too old to do the stuff that I do and beat myself up the way that I do. It's time for me to start mellowing out, slowing down. Honestly, at this point, I'm just not happy in this industry, so I would be much happier around bikes all the time. Especially if I can get into a job that pays me as much or more with less hours, closer to home, and actually quite a bit of work from home if I want. It gives me more time with my family, more freedom. I'd be alright with that. I don't know why I didn't think to do it years ago, but here we are. Like I said, it happened kind of by accident. I wasn't looking, and then I get hit by a deer, and the guy brings it up and says, "Hey, you'd be really good at this." Yeah, I'm on board for that. Oh my God, is there a road they did not chip seal this year? They did D and they did Q. Oh my God! Apparently this is the year where I don't ride my favorite roads like ever. For anybody unfamiliar, this is literally like riding on marbles. I mean, you can see the bike's kind of twitching around, and I'm not even going that fast. I'm running in rain mode, and I'm hardly touching the throttle. You know, when you hit these pockets, I mean, it's literally like riding through sand. Which may be a little more tolerable on something like a KLR or a GS Adventure or something, but on an FJ09 on sport tires, oh, come on, Wisconsin, you're killing me, Smalls, you're killing me. Oh. And I'm really not a fan of this thing going down again. The deer hit was enough. That was a lot of pain in the butt to get parts. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, did I mention all the roads out here are like windy, twisty? We're just gonna gently turn around and go hit the side streets. So yeah, I'm hoping for a career change. Like ball bearings, dude, literally. They did this on my street last year, and it was a pain in the butt every time I wanted to go for a ride. Oh, thank you, clean pavement. Anyway, yep, time for a career change. See where the future takes us, but There can't be anything wrong with more time with my family, more career advancement opportunity, and more money. Right? Right. Alright, we're on the same page. So that's life. On a more, well, I shouldn't say positive note, but on a side note, my wife and I went down to Jay's Power Sports in Reedsburg a couple weekends ago. We're actually looking for a bigger bike for her. She's gotten her legs back under her. And the G310, or G310 she's got now is great for stuff like this, but she's actually expressed interest in wanting to go on the longer rides with me and do even some of the mild endurance stuff like the Saddle Sport 1000s and things like that. So, Jay's is a Triumph dealer. And she's really hell-bent on the Triumph Street Triple right now, so we wanted to go out and check them out. And I'm still in the market for an adventure bike or dual sport of some kind. I can't decide if I want to just go ham right now and get the big GS or if I want to take it easy and get a KLR. But I mean, I took the opportunity while we were down there to check out the Triumph Explorers. One of the things you guys have heard me talk about is my obsession with the Honda VFR. If you've watched my old channel especially. I don't think I've talked about it on Wisco Moto channel specifically. They actually had an 03 VFR with the hard bags, the factory Honda hard bags. Might have been an 04. But it was a silver one, non-ABS. And they had it relatively cheap, and she definitely needs some love. I will not deny that. But, okay, let's be realistic. She needed a lot more than just love. She was in rough shape, but the price was low enough, I actually considered it as a project bike. But I wanted to demo ride it just to see how much work it really needed. I have rode thousands of miles on VFRs. Never had an issue, but oh man, I think I did 10 miles on that bike. And then I also had an opportunity to switch bikes with a friend of mine. He wanted to try the FJ because he's having knee issues, and I took his Ninja 1000, and yeah, let's just say my body does not, oh hello, my body does not play well with that anymore. So, I had to rethink my entire garage strategy, and I've pretty much eliminated any of the sportier style bikes. So, no Hayabusa, no VFR. We're done. It pains me to say it, but it would literally be like that princess that sits in the garage all the time and goes out like one Saturday morning a month, and I just can't do it. You know, it's a lot of money to sink into something you can ride 30-40 minutes at a crack at best. I'm just not all about it. So yeah, the entire garage strategy and bike strategy has had to be rethought, and it's not a bad thing, but you know, does sting a little bit. So now we're going to focus full time on sport touring and adventure touring and dual sport type bikes, I think. And it kind of works out though, because my track days are kind of over. I'm heavily focused on endurance riding. It's time for that change. I gotta remember, I'm not 20 years old anymore. But, yeah. It was a fun day otherwise, though. Gotta say, I still prefer the BMW over the Triumph by a long shot. I really need to go take a demo ride on the newer, like the Africa Twin and the Super Tenere. Because I haven't ruled those out yet. And I do really need to take a good ride on the new KLR Adventure too, because I mean, for what I'm going to do with the bike, I mean, ultimately, if I need horsepower, and I want to go flick around something that can move like crazy, I've got this. And I'm not getting rid of this. You know, the KLR would be entirely back road, dirt track. I've got no interest in going fast on the dirt. I'm not looking to motocross with it. I'm looking to do some mild adventure riding and like two-track kind of stuff. Same place you take UTVs and stuff like that. It's where I'd be taking the KLR. So my wife's actually looking at a Himalayan to go do that kind of riding with me. She really likes that one. So whatever I get ain't gonna be going anywhere more than what the Royal Enfield Himalayan can do, which is a pretty capable bike, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's no DRZ or, you know, KLX 250 or anything. So eventually I'll wind up probably with the big GS, just because if I'm intending, like, my goal is to run the Iron Butt Rally. I'm not running the Iron Butt Rally on an FJ09. And I do intend on doing some heavier duty adventure riding. So, with that said, I will probably look seriously at the GS at a later date. And maybe just grab the KLR. I might grab an FJR. You can get them pretty inexpensive used. I just gotta get one new enough to have the factory cruise on it. As good as the FJ09 is, there does hit a level where you're running into limitations of the bike on longer distances. Like, she'll do a Saddle Sport 1000 just fine, but you start getting into anything multi-day, and an FJR or a GS would be a much better option. So, that's the plan. For now. Alright, we'll see y'all later.